years ago, we started this session from this clinic, and it was less than half of the size. And we were a group of 8 people, and we would just make a small circle, and that's how the seed of yoga and meditation was planted in this area. And the group became big, and our space couldn't accommodate everyone, and we moved to Celebration and then to Our Saviors of Lutheran Church. And with God's grace, today we are back to the same place in a bigger way. So I was so excited and so delighted that the positive circle of such beautiful souls is expanding in this area, and our spiritual family is growing, and it's a delight to all of us. So change. I thought today would be the best time to speak on change. Life is never the same. Change is happening every moment. 20 years ago, we had a group of 8 members, and 2 of those members are still with this group. So it's amazing, and they're not here, but again, positive change and sometimes not so pleasant change. But one thing we need to understand, that on this planet of Earth, we have a very short life to live. And then in this short life of 70, 80 on an average years, half of the life is gone sleeping, isn't it? And then the remaining half, 1/4 is gone in eating, drinking. So less time is in our hands to live this life. Then the question comes in, why should we be unhappy? Why should we be depressed? Why should we be anxious? Shouldn't we be always happy and joyful and peaceful, given the fact that life is so short? So how do we do this? How can we ensure our life that it's filled with happiness and joy and peace and balanced state of mind? Knowledge of one and only one thing. Always remember, everything is in passing. Nothing stays the same forever. No situation, good or bad, can ever stay the same. So when we know everything is passing, and when not so pleasant times come in our life, we still know they are not going to be here forever. And that alone should give us a lot of comfort. That's a knowledge that we all need to have, and the awareness that we need to remember. Everything is passing. You know the mantra of depression? The mantra of sadness is, how about me? What's going to happen to me? It's all about me that causes depression. But when we start thinking that there are so many more people who are going through much more sufferings and challenging times than myself, am I ready to serve them? And when that kind of feeling starts to come in our mind, then I'm happier. But the irony of life is, that we tend to doubt the positive and trust the negative. And let me explain to you what I mean. When somebody tells us, so and so is so honest, this lady is so honest, this boy is so honest, what do we say? Oh, really? as if I'm not so sure. But when someone says, oh, this man is a fraud, we say, okay, instantly we admit that. When someone asks you, are you happy? Many times what do we say? I'm not so sure. But I'm so sure when I'm depressed, isn't it? When I'm sad, I'm so sure I'm depressed. I couldn't be more sure. So we trust negativity and we doubt the positivity. We doubt the honesty, we doubt the love, we doubt the soulfulness, and we trust the negativity. Are you angry? Yes. Negativity is always yes. So change is needed. When we start to pay attention to these things, then change starts to happen in our life. Many times, have you noticed from morning till evening they say, thank you, I'm sorry. Such words to make others feel good. But think, are we really saying them? Are we really meaning to say that? When we are traveling and we are in aeroplane, when we are about to leave the plane, air hostess is saying, have a nice day. Does she really mean it? It's a formality that she is fulfilling, have a nice day. But when someone who really loves you, you're very close, near and dear, says, have a nice day, then you feel your heart is touched. So most of the times we are saying words that we are just lipping, but we are not living. They are not coming from inside. They're so superficial. So when we start paying attention to what we are saying, how deep it's coming from, that's when change starts to happen from inside. And it's very important. Yoga plays a very important role in changing within. You start to feel that transformation happening from inside. When the vigor inside you is awakened, that's when you feel that you're changing. You are so much more full of joy. You are staying happy all the times. Change. Every minute we are changing, but make sure we are changing for good. We are changing for positivity. We are believing in honesty. We are believing in sincerity. It's all about vibrations. The entire world is all about vibrations. What kind of vibes we are producing every moment, it affects our feeling, our thinking, and our actions. Isn't it sometimes you meet somebody and you just love to be with that person? Actually, our silence speaks more than our words for our personality. So many times you want to be with somebody, you want to keep talking to someone because you feel that connection. And then there are some times you want to avoid some person. What is it? It's not the words, it's the vibrations that are flowing through you. And sometimes you think, why someone is never talking to me? It's your vibrations that are coming out of your inside that's making it happen. So again, changing those vibrations inside by reuniting with your own spirit is yoga. Many times we find that we are so angry about the past. Why this happened to me? Why me? Why so and so said so much to me? So angry about the past, we cannot let go. And then we are anxious about the future. What's going to happen to me tomorrow? What if? And meditation is all about taking our mind from the negativity of past and taking our mind away from the upcoming future and bringing it right now to this moment. This moment is the happiest. If you really look within, this moment you have no worries. Nobody here is worried about this moment. If you drop the past, you drop the future, you come at this moment, you are the happiest among all. Meditation is all about connecting to this moment of joy, not worrying about the future and not being anxious and angry about what has already happened in my life. Vibrations. So there are three things that yoga does. One is it brings clarity of mind. Mind becomes very clear. You always know what needs to be done. So clarity of mind to purity of heart. Heart becomes purer and purer and purer. And sincerity in action. And everything is linked. When heart is pure, the purer the heart, more clarity in the mind, because divinity will prevail in your deeds and in your actions. So mind will be very clear, intellect will be very sharp, wisdom will always be with you, power of discrimination. And then when your mind is thinking positive, with positive thoughts, strong thoughts, less thoughts, then your every action that you do from morning till evening, there will be sincerity of action. So true to yourself. Then you're not lipping it, you're living every word. When then every word that you're speaking is not coming from here, it's coming from here. And when it's coming from your heart, then it's going to give happiness to others. And when it's going to give happiness to others, then same happiness is going to come back to you 1,000 times more. This is the formula to stay happy. Ensuring your happiness is in your own hands. That's what yoga says. Do not blame others for your sufferings. You are responsible for your own happiness and you're responsible for your own sufferings. You make your own destiny. Just know that how much power you have within you. So there are 8 layers. Very important to know. There are 8 layers to this body. 8 layers. And we need to take care of all 8. And when we know and understand, then life starts to flow smoothly. So first outer layer is this body. On body level, we have to stay very alert. We must give it the right food intake, the right sleep, right cleansing, showering, which we all do. And yoga asanas, all the yogic stretches that we do in the beginning of the session, they all help us on the body level. Makes us feel very relaxed, very rejuvenated on the physical level. First layer. Then the second layer is our breath. Now breath is so important. Remember, when we come to this world, it's the first breath that we intake brings life in our body. And at the end, it's the last breath that we exhale and then we don't have the power to inhale is what decides the last moment. And the journey between the first breath and the last breath is the life. And it's all about making that life full of light. So, breath is the second layer. It's like if there is a lamp here, and if I put a glass on the top and just cover it, this light will go away. Why? Because the oxygen that's needed to keep the flame going, if it goes away, then the lid lamp will also not be able to stay lighted. Exactly the same way when breath leaves the body, then body has no life. So we need to take care of breath. And that's why we do a lot of breathing exercises in this session. And when we do these breathing exercises, in these breathing exercises lies the secret of inner strength, inner peace, inner joy, inner healing. Different patterns of breathing exercises rejuvenate inside your body. Different systems are rejuvenated. So breath, body, we must take care of that. The third layer is our mind body. Mind is the manufacturer of all thoughts. All thoughts, positive or negative, are manufactured here. So we must change our mind. We must continue to train our mind. We must continue to change our mind. And positive thoughts, positive thinking only happens when there is purity inside. As we do yogic stretches, as we do pranayama techniques, breathing techniques, we become more purer. We become more purer here too. And only good thoughts, positive thoughts stay in our mind. So third is mind body. Then fourth is scientific body. Intellectual body. This is the layer that gives you the power to discriminate between good and bad. Many times we don't know whether it's good or bad. We think bad is good and we keep embracing the bad, thinking that's good for me. My starting point has to be right. And that comes from that wisdom of intellectual power, and that only comes through yoga. So that's how many? 4? I just wanted to make sure you're here with me. We are together. Okay. So 4. Fifth one is memory. Many times, memory plays a very important role in our life. Have you seen that if you're married for 10 years and 9 years went really well and 1 year went bad, mind only thinks about that one negative year. It will not think about that 9 years that went so beautiful. 1 year keeps haunting it. Oh God, it was so bad, rough time. Isn't it? You know, some day, some people gave us so many compliments all day, and then one person comes and say, oh, you look so tired. At the end of the day, what does the mind remember? You look so tired. Mind drops. Oh, but 10 people told me I'm so fresh, I'm so rejuvenated. But one person is stuck here. Mind tends to attract only the negative. It wants to party with the negative. It exits the positive. And that's why changing of the mind, sanskaras, impressions that have been lasted on our mind can only be erased through yoga. When we do yogic breathing, when we do meditation, the past impressions of negativity are transformed into the positivity. So number 5 is? Memory. Yes, yes. Now everybody's here. Some people were in Hawaii before. So 5 is memory. And then 6th is your ego. Ego is what creates walls between people. You know, when we were children always feel at home. They have no problem. They can go and talk to anybody. They don't feel inferior or superior. It's so easy for them. And as we grow big, then try going and talking to this person is very easy, but to him it's hard. Why? Because we are creating walls of ego, barriers. And what yoga does? Yoga removes those walls. Not only it removes the walls, but it reunites you with the supreme power that's within. So when we connect that, then ego layer is gone. The walls are gone. I see myself in everyone. I become part of everyone. You and I are same. I feel your pain. You feel my pain. I have love and respect for every soul. It's like soul to soul relationship. You are elevated where you look at everybody as soul. And soul is pure. And soul is light. And the last one, which never changes, is spirit. The last is Atman, spirit, that God has put his own fragment, small spark of his energy in us, that's in the form of spirit. Body changes, mind changes, breath changes, people around you change, circumstances changes, right? But one thing that's never changing is your spirit, your soul. So when we do yoga and when we reunite with our spirit, when we become united with Atman, when we embrace that, then something magical starts to happen. That's when nature comes to support you. Whatever you want, whatever your dreams are, nature or the divine powers come to protect you, to guide you, to hold your hand. Whatever you wish for, it starts to happen. That's when life is fabulous. You feel so joyful all the times. That is the goal of life. To always stay connected with the most powerful Atman and then work in the world and watch miracles start to happen. So last thing before we start the yogic stretches. So we keep thinking about destiny, right? Many times we just blame it on destiny. Oh, in my destiny, happiness just doesn't exist. It's only pain. Everybody else around me's destiny is so good, but mine is filled with pain. Yes, some part of our life is because of the destinies, but that's very little. In addition to destiny, but God has given us free will. Free will He's given to accumulate this higher knowledge, to bring these yogic disciplines, practices in your life and change your destiny with your free will. By thinking right, by nurturing the soul, by nurturing the mind, body, by harmonizing your subconscious and conscious mind. Yes, you can change your destiny. Free will. And let me just give you an example how it happens. Today, if it rains, and there's a prediction for rain, right? If it rains, we have no control, right? So that's the destiny. If it rains, we have no control. We don't have the control to change the weather. But we can take the umbrella and not get wet, is the free will. So the bottom line is we know. If we know and we are prepared, we have the umbrella, we don't get wet, then whether it rains or not, whether it's destined to rain or not, we're protected. So this is how your free will works. But free will only works when your mind, your intellect knows and understands. When challenging time comes, we can still maintain our balance and keep smiling. With the confidence that I can resolve this. I have the power to change. I have the power to transform. And remember, everything is in passing. Nothing is going to stay the same. So have a smile on your face and just keep moving upwards in life. So with these words of wisdom, we'll start today's stretches. Let's go ahead and stand up.